What's up, guys? It's Coach Grant with First Down Training, and today we're going to be breaking down a great move that I feel all wide receivers should learn how to use off the line of scrimmage against press. So this move is a great way to get separation against inside shade, head up press, outside shade press to work. So I hope this video helps you guys out. But also, fellas, if you're a wide receiver and you want to know what you should do on a day-to-day basis to improve your overall game, check out that very first link in the description below for our ultimate 8-week wide receiver workout plan. You will get access to over 500 plus wide receiver on-field drills and gym exercises with sets, reps, and an example of each exercise broken down for you. So check out that very first link below if interested, fellas. Let's get started with this video. So now, first release we're talking about here is this Hezzy crossover release. So this release is made kind of popular by Davante Adams. So we're going to break down this route here from him with the Raiders, working one-on-ones. We're going to show a bad example of it and then another good example. So let's play this full speed. So he comes off, hits this Hezzy move, gets that DB to sit, and wins on that slant route. So let's talk about this, right? So I like this move a lot when we have a head up press coverage DB, right? So by head up, I mean that he's not shaded to the inside, he's not shaded to the outside, although you could use it against either one of those looks. So what Adams does here is he comes off the line, he gives this little hesitation hop, right? Now this hesitation hop, a lot of people try to do that, but they don't know the correct mechanics of it. So let's talk about that. When he comes off the line, I want you to watch his back foot. With this hesitation release, and this is obviously not something he's thinking about, this is a habit that he's built over and over again, you almost like kick with your back foot, like you step with the back foot and push off of it and reach with your front foot, because that is what will get you that kind of like hop movement and give you that slower pace. The whole reason we do that is just to gather info on the DB. Is he going to get in this motor technique and start to bail? Is he going to sit right there? Is he going to try to get hands right away? Whatever it is. But you use that little hesitation hop to close the distance, slow down the pace, and gather info on the DB. Now, what does this DB do? He doesn't end up sitting. He ends up kind of getting into his motor technique. He starts bailing back a little bit, starting inching back. So when he starts inching back, as a receiver, what do you think you want to do? We want to try to step on his toes. We want to make him uncomfortable. This is what a patient DB will do. They will inch back. They will watch your hips. They will try to stay disciplined. So what a lot of wide receivers, the mistake that they'll make with this crossover is that they'll do this Hezzy move, but this DB starts to inch back, and then they hit this move right here with all this space in between the two of them. Now, whether you're running a quick slant like Adams is here, whether you're running a fade route, when you leave this big of a gap between you and the DB, you physically cannot get separation if he's disciplined because he's got space to recover. Let's say we get him to jump to the outside, but you have to go run this post and you got to get to here. He still has a better angle to get to that stem than you do because there's so much space. So Adams does a great job. He hesitates off the line, gathering info, seeing that he's starting to inch back. Okay, let's get into his cushion. Let's throw this crossover and actually try to almost step on his toes, if you will, to get him to sit, to actually threaten him vertical, and that is what can get his feet to stop. So fellas, when we use this hesitation hop, make sure that we are ready to throw it right away. We're ready to close the space. We're ready to attack this DB no matter what. Now, what do you think he would do? And you see it time and time again from Adams when he was at the Packers, is that you would have a guy right here. He'd be sitting right up in press. Adams would do the little Hezzy move, and this DB would sit, and then he'd hit him with the crossover right away. Because when you guys Hezzy off the line, when you guys take it slow, you slow down the tempo, we are gathering info on the DB. How is he going to play me? How is he? What leverage is he keeping? Is he shading inside? Is he inching back? Is he shading outside? So we can structure my release and be able to react. Playing receiver is a lot like playing basketball sometimes, where you're reacting off of a defender and you have to go make a move. Let's play this thing again full speed, and then we're going to talk about a bad example of this specific release. So he Hezzies, hits the crossover, make sure we close the space with the DB, fellas, and we are always trying to make him uncomfortable. All right, so now, next clip here. So like I said, with this release, you could use it against all three looks, right? You could use it against outside shade, you could use it against head up, or you could use it against inside shade, right? Now, this is the bad example of this type of a release because this wide receiver doesn't close space. So let's play at full speed and then we'll break it down. So he comes off the line and you see how he throws his move very early. That's what I'm saying by giving the DB time to react and space to recover. So when he decides to make this move, he comes off the line. You see how he does the same kind of thing Adams does. He kicks with the back foot, kind of reaches with the front foot, slows the tempo down a bit. But now there's about 5 yards of space between him and the DB right now, and he makes that cut with about 4 yards of space. That is plenty of room for this DB to recover, even if we get him to jump to the inside. Like, let's say we got this DB to jump way inside and we still have to run this out route. We can't just round it into the out route because it's going to screw up timing, especially if we're not in the red zone, especially if we're in like the middle of the field. We have to get to my depth. So I give this DB space to be able to recover and get hands. I still have to get up vertical, but I'm allowing him a better angle because he didn't get into this cushion. We need to get into this DB's cushion no matter what when it comes to this like hezzy crossover move. I can't rush it. Let's put it that way. I can't come off the ball, hesitate, and then just give him one jab to the inside. I can't try to get out of this route too quick. I have to close the distance. I actually have to threaten him. Now, I get it. This is like a 10-yard out almost, right? So if we're running a 10-yard out, that's a timing route. We cannot be late with my release. We cannot be too slow with my route because the quarterback's trying to get this thing out of his hands fast. So I need to come up with something maybe a little bit quicker. So this release may not have been the best course of action. Maybe he should have attacked him a little bit faster, changed up the tempo a little bit more like to a quicker pace, get into his cushion, threaten him inside, then push up vertical. But when we give that move and we give this DB too much space to react, he's going to be all over this route. We got to close the cushion and we have to make him uncomfortable when I decide to go with this crossover release off the line. Let's play this thing again full speed and then we will show another good example of this release and how you guys can implement it to your actual game. So now, next one here is from Drake London. This is also from a one-on-ones clip from training camp. Now, this is kind of the same scenario as Adams, right? We have this head-up press look, and he's coming off the ball. Now, this is a little bit like pre-snap, a little bit different of a look than we saw from Davante Adams. This DB's up a little bit closer. Looks like he's going to get pressed. Looks like he's going to get hands. So we come off the line, and we do that little slower pace hesitation, but we have to gather info on this DB. Now, again, this and people get me wrong all the time. People think that I overcomplicate a lot of simple things, and I don't mean it to be that way. I mean it to where like this stuff is what you need to emphasize in practice and in training. So when you're in a game, it can be simple, right? Like think of it like, for example, like you're learning math. When you were a kid, the first time you learned how to multiply, it was probably a little confusing at first. So what'd you do? You practiced it over and over again, and now you can do that very easily. That's kind of how you have to think of releases off the line, moves on the route. It's a reaction almost. Like somebody says 5 times 5. You already know it's 25. It's you memorized it. Same thing with this stuff off the line. You come at a DB, it's memorized. I've done it so many dang times that I know when I attack him and he does a certain thing because maybe I've studied it on film. Maybe I've repped it out in one-on-ones in practice. I know exactly what to do. So it's more so a reaction, a lot of these scenarios, or especially this release, because you see what he does off the line. He kicks with the back foot like we see, reaches with the front foot, kind of hesitates, see how this DB is inching back. So we already know if he starts to inch back, what do I need to do? Close the cushion. Let's actually threaten him to the outside. Let's be here, stepping on his toes, hips and shoulders, or faking him to the outside with the crossover, and that's what gets him to bite. Now, again, you see that we got him to bite, but because we closed the space, now we could get up into this route. This DB is actually threatened. There's not a big gap that he can recover with. And now when we push back up vertical, he overcommits. I give a move inside, and then I'm able to slip out on this fade, or London's able to slip out on this fade. But that release, fellas, when you guys come off the ball and you give this little hezzy hop right there, make sure we know how to react off of this guy. He starts to inch back. Let's eat up his cushion. He sits right there. I hesitate. Let's be ready to give a quick crossover. The only thing that changes is the steps building into this hezzy crossover release. We hesitate. We are gathering info on this guy to see how he is going to play. Let's play this thing again, full speed one more time. Great job by London, stepping on the toes of this DB, closing the space, and being able to beat that inch back technique to win on that fade route. All right, fellas, I really want to thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. If you guys have any questions at all, don't hesitate to leave those in the comment section below. Always appreciate the feedback. It's always great to hear from you guys. And again, fellas, if you would like a 8-week wide receiver gym and on-field workout schedule, over 500 plus exercises you can do, check out that very first link in the description below. I'll see you guys next time.